In the last 5-6 days, our country has been troubled with spate of violent protest in some states in the country. After the address of Mr. President on Sunday, tension doused. Peaceful protesters heeded the call of Mr. President to embrace dialogue. But we still have in few states, in Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, and Bauchi State, group of people who started subversive campaign, waving flags of other countries and openly calling for military takeover of government. This is not a protest, but an offense of treason. The Nigerian police has arrested a number of them, and they will be dealt with accordingly. They will be given appropriate charges. I want to use this opportunity to warn our youths to desist from accepting foreign flags from agents of destabilization. It is very, very implicating for them to be seen with flags of other countries while on protest. So far, the situation is under control, and we believe that after this press conference, those misguided elements and their sponsors will desist from these acts of treason. Thank you.
August this year, troops of the Nigerian Army have been deployed in the public space, maintaining law and order in line with our constitutional provision as enshrined in Section 217 of the 1999 Constitution. The reason for this deployment of troops is the fact that we were challenged, and we are still challenged security-wise, as a nation. Come 1st of August this year, and for the past 5 days, there has been a different dimension to the security challenge in our country. We have witnessed wanton destruction of properties, loss of lives, and even stretching the insecurity in our nation to the point of treason and subversion. The troops of the Nigerian Army have addressed this situation on case-by-case basis in conjunction with other security agencies. I want to, on behalf of the officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army, state unequivocally that the Nigerian Army stand assured in defense of our democracy, of our peace, of our harmony, and we are not going to shift ground on that. Our return to democracy in 1999 as a nation cost us blood and treasure. So my appeal to youths is that what we have witnessed in the past 5 days is an investment, needless investment of blood, of treasure, calling for an unconstitutional change of government. The Nigerian Army will not sit by and watch the nation slide into anarchy. Accordingly, the troops of the Nigerian Army will continue to work in conjunction with other security agencies in the population space to maintain law and order. I want to appreciate the press for reports that we have received on the performance of our troops so far since the outbreak of this nationwide protest that's turned into riots. We have taken into account your reports. We have used them to streamline the performance of our troops, and we will even inculcate them into our doctrine. I want to thank the youths. I want to thank the generality of Nigerians. I want to thank the media that since the break of day today, since 0600 hours, the reports from across the nation is that we have returned back to a palpable state of peace and security. And I believe going forward, we will continue along that trajectory. So I seek for the understanding of the media, the youths, the generality of Nigerians to continue to support our troops as they work with like-minded Nigerians to ensure that peace, law, and order reign in our country. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.
Indeed, fellow patriotic Nigerians, Nigeria definitely is not in their strength. And even if it were, it is our collective responsibility to ensure that all hands are on deck and we move our nation forward. For the DSS, we have continued to gather appropriate intelligence and escalate them as appropriate, disseminate timely, actionable intelligence to action agencies and appropriate stakeholders on the basis of need to know and necessity for national security. On the 25th of July, particularly, the service issued a very clear, direct press statement saying that, yes, protest is a democratic right of citizens, but this particular one is one that is going to be mismanaged by the organizers, sponsors, and participants. And we said we identified the funding lines, we identified the sponsors and critical role players in the protest. But were we going to start with arrest of persons and being combative? We said no. We applied moral suasion and multi-track diplomatic shuttle initiatives to appeal to the good conscience of such persons to say, down your tools, the government is already on top of the situation, doing so much, give the government an opportunity to also do what is needful. And 2 days ago, the president has come out to say, yes, I have heard your complaints. Come forward and dialogue as appropriate. We want to join goodwill Nigerians, persons of patriotic disposition, to say you cannot destroy your nation and still want to have it. You cannot, by any stroke of any imagination, be in the forefront of destroying your nation. The places that we desire to go to live in, they are who they are because they obey laws, because they love their nations. People protest, but protest can also be of significant good if people adhere to the rules of engagement. In situations where protesters destroy public infrastructure, PIFA, loot, and undermine public peace, that definitely will not be tolerated. And there is no responsible government or security organization in any nation across the world that will fold their hands and allow the peace of their nation brought down by people who are either have decided to be subversive or illegitimately disposed to insecurity and disorder. We appeal to our youths, to our mothers, to our fathers, to the generality of Nigerians, to please give peace a chance and allow the government do what is needful as committed as it has become, the federal government and all the subnationals will do what is very strategic for the nation. For us, again, we have continued to map out strategies to ensure whether at this level or at any other level, to ensure that any person who is involved in outright display of anarchy and chaos in the nation must be brought to book. In London or in the UK, the Prime Minister said day before yesterday that those who are engaged in the protest, violent protest in that part of the country would face consequences. And definitely people must face consequences. But that is not where we are now. Where we are is to appeal to people to be rational, to give peace a chance indeed. But for us, we will continue to do what is needful in line with our obligations. We will procure adequate intelligence, disseminate the same to appropriate authorities, and act as we should in line with international protocols and the constitution of the nation as may be relevant. Please, gentlemen of the press, we will also appeal to you to be careful, to be cautious about the narratives. Storytelling is what drives conflict of this nature. When we tell our stories and skew information to the detriment of public order, the end result is that people act on your stories. We want a situation where, when this has ended, you will be proud that you were not part of those who contributed to the inflammation of conflict or violence in the nation. Across the world, we have seen the tendencies or the contributions of media in violence. As men of pen, please apply good conscience and please tell stories that unite. Tell stories that raise hope and not stories that divide or create fear. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.